All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart Podcast. I got our two mainstays here, our wrestling analysts, Vlad, the wrestling expert, and Robert, the frozen agent. Listen, guys, I'm going to skip the formalities today because it was a busy week in wrestling, and I just want to get into it because our aim is to usually keep this podcast to an hour, keep it at a good pace, and finish within an hour. But, we might go over because it was a busy week. There was a PLE, there was Bad Blood, there was Dynamite, there was Raw, there was Smackdown. There was even a big episode of NXT, which if we have time, we might talk about some things from it. But Vlad's here, Robert's here. They look healthy. They look fine. So let's just skip the introductions and let's jump into the wrestling. All right. Topic number one today. My favorite topic of the week, or I guess I usually pick what I think is the best thing or my favorite thing. Not the best thing, my favorite thing. But for this week, it might be unanimous. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Hell in a Cell, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood. All right, I'm going to pull up the TV. We're going to go through some slides, watch some pictures of what happened. I'm not going to do a full-on summary because we got a big show today with a lot of topics, so I'm going to not do as in-depth a summary as I usually do. I'm going to try to put a link in the description to all the videos that we're watching. So if you guys missed any of the wrestling, I'm going to put low-res links to all the videos, legal low-res links, because there's a legal, if something is low resolution enough and not quality enough, you can actually post it somewhere. I don't know if you knew that or not. So I've been posting WWE and AEW videos on Blogspot, and, the quality is not great, but you know what? Back in the days when we had 56K, it was pretty good. This would be pretty good quality to me. So if you live in like India or some, poor country, you can watch these videos and they're totally free. So there you go. Go to the description and I'll have links to all the videos if you miss any of the wrestling. So we just want to jump straight to our reviews today. So I don't want to do as long a summary as I usually do, but I do want to go through some pictures of this match, this CM Punk Drew McIntyre match, because it was pretty amazing. But hold on, let me pull up some slides that I bookmarked today earlier while I was at work. Yeah, I was pretending to work, but I was really watching CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. But yeah, it was the opening of the show, okay? It was one match, 44 minutes and 50 seconds, I have it as, with there was no video package. I don't know if there was one, I didn't see it, or maybe it was on the pre-show or something. But once the show started, they didn't have a video package. They just jumped straight into this match. Here comes Drew McIntyre. Here comes CM Punk. There's the steel cage, the Hell in a Cell, and there they are. What were you guys thinking at this moment once they were finally in there and they got face to face?
All I was thinking was I was just hoping that it was going to be as good as it ended up being, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure because the previous two matches kind of were a little, So I don't know what they were going to do here, but man, oh man. Okay, I don't want to, go into my review, but this was sensational.
Yeah. I'll give you time to talk, Vlad, but let me just go through what pictures I have. I don't have a full review of the match, like I said, but I just wanted to show how bloody it was in certain scenes. Here's CM Punk getting blood. Good color from CM Punk. But here's a spot where Drew McIntyre got color. And CM Punk found a tool chest. Yeah, a tool chest, and he bashed him on the head.
I don't know what he cut himself with, but god damn, he was leaking blood, man. That was a nasty gash.
Yeah, I mean, I suspected that they both took some blood thinners before this match to make it look good, have the blood dripping down good, but anyways,
it was really dripping for Drew.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember the referee actually coming in there with a towel and wiping them off.
Numerous times he had to try to wipe
It was funny when Drew pushed the referee away.
There was a moment, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. There was a moment where he pushed the referee away, but he tried, that was so fucking good, man. This was like a perfect match. Jesus. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Vlad gave this a good rating, as we'll get to once I show you guys our ratings for this match.
I know, I'm getting ahead of myself.
This was a suplex off the ring apron onto a table on the outside, where CM Punk took this nasty bump, where I was a little bit like, man, do they really need to be doing all this? Like, is this going to end CM Punk's career for real? But
sure,
there was a tool chest in the ring. So here's a picture of CM Punk with the Anaconda Vice on Drew McIntyre, and the tools were right there in a good spot for for Drew to grab it, but CM Punk grabbed it from him and started beating his head in with the wrench. And I was watching this with my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, good God. She must have thought you were insane watching this, right?
I told her, you don't know what it's like to have a blood feud with a guy, man. It just happens sometimes. Oh, this was a good spot. I picked this out to show when Drew McIntyre was begging him off, right? He was like, please don't, but it was just a ruse so he could hit him with a low blow.
Fucking sensational, dude. Oh, so good.
Here's the Drew McIntyre crazy face. Pretty good. Love this. Oh, and this was where he grabbed the what is it? He had a bag of beads. I don't know what I thought it was going to be in there. I thought it could be thumbtacks, but I guess it made sense.
Glass, thumbtacks, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they might go hardcore, but no, it was just symbolic. Anyways, this is the end of the match. This was quite a wicked bump. One of the craziest I've ever seen with Drew McIntyre going for the Claymore, and CM Punk gets out of the way, and Drew McIntyre just hits the steel steps that were in the ring.
I don't know. That's gotta hurt. I can't even. How you work that? I don't know.
No, some things they just wanted to take to make look good, man. But this was worth it. When AEW guys kill themselves and there's no reason, this was a moment where it was actually.
I'm gonna bring all that up. I'm gonna mention that in my review. But go ahead.
Anyway, so this is the end where CM Punk puts the beads in Drew McIntyre's mouth and hits him with the go to sleep. And I think there was 3 go to sleeps. I didn't count carefully, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. So that was it. CM Punk closes the door on the steel cage symbolically, like that's the end. And he tries to walk off on his own power, but he falls down a couple times. And
that was a amazing touch as well.
Bret Hart style selling. He can't get out of the arena, but I think they had to bring the oxygen mask in for him too, right? So, and there's Drew McIntyre, who I felt horrible for. I thought he was in the right the entire time, and this is just a sad end to this.
Well, that's up for debate. But anyways.
So yes, all right. So let's pull up our rating system for anyone who's new to the show. I might just be jumping in for the first time. This is how we rate things here, and 2 thumbs up is usually as high as we go. I added those last 2 up there. This is fire and Mind Completely Blown, because we used to think, man, I wish I could give this something higher than 2 thumbs up on our old rating system. So there you go. So Vlad sent me his rating on this earlier. I will post our Bad Blood reviews in full on YouTube post, but Vlad gave it this was fire. So plus 5 points on his Bad Blood review. Mine as well. This was fire. This was really damn good. I can't say anything bad about it. I can't ask for anything more, really. And then Robert's review is a 2 thumbs up. So he loved it, which is not bad. Okay, I don't know. We're going to get some clarification from his thoughts. But anyways, let me jump to Vlad. Vlad,
clarification with 2 thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, we need this clarification on why this didn't blow your mind. Well, it didn't blow my mind, okay? It was just really good, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was just very solid. Anyway, so this angle today was a match. The whole program seems to be over, but we're just reviewing the match today, the Hell in a Cell match. So, Vlad, I'm going to give you some time. Go ahead, whatever you want to say about this match.
I mean, as you said, Keon, there's not much bad you could say about this. These 2 guys gave us everything they had and more in this match. Now, I know some AEW guy is going to say, hey, but did they put hypothetical AIDS needles in each other's mouths? Did they use cinder blocks? No, obviously they did not, because they're not stupid. But back to my original point. No, they did a tremendous job here. They closed this feud once and for all. It was unbelievable, amazing, and everything was logical, even though it was like a hardcore, double-bladed type of thing. Logical, made sense. Nothing was too out of control where how could he kick out of that? There were no cinder blocks. There were no ridiculous spots. Everything really made sense within the confines of Hell in a Cell. Just a tremendous match.
For the feud, it made sense.
And for the feud, I mean, just the emotion that you felt during it, the highs, the lows, the uncertainty of who actually was going to go over. I mean, I had an idea Punk was, but if it was going to be Drew, I wouldn't have cried about it either. Either guy was deserving, because it was It was the best feud I've seen in a long, long, long time, and this match put the stamp on it for sure. Like
Yeah.
this was by far the best feud I've seen. Not only will it be feud of the year or should be feud of the year, but it might have been like the best feud I've seen in like at least 10, 15, 20 years. So
Yeah.
tremendous.
All right, let me jump to Robert. I got to get some thoughts from you, the Frozen Asian. What did you think of this match, man?
I loved it. This is awesome. So, you know, there's some Hell in a Cell matches that are very iconic because of moments that we'll never forget. Like, you know, Undertaker versus Mankind. You know, they had moments that get replayed over and over again. This match might not have those iconic moments that will get shown over and over again, but I personally would probably pick this as my personal favorite Hell in a Cell match. And I don't know about for an alt of all time, but if not, it's very close. It's definitely the best Hell in a Cell match I've seen in recent years. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, one thing I love in like in a match that, like, you know, that's supposed to be the blow off of a feud is when there's a lot of callbacks to things that happened in throughout their feud, right? Like, yeah, putting the beads inside, you know, McIntyre's mouth. That was in response to what Drew McIntyre did to him, and also making Drew McIntyre pray, right? Because that was the promo that was CM Punk promised that would happen
Yes.
on the Raw leading up to this. A couple other things that there were definitely callbacks of stuff that happened throughout their feud, and I love it when they do that in a match, right? Like they reference the stuff that led up to this match, and so I mean, it didn't blow my mind enough to give it, you know, say it's fire, but I loved it a lot, like for sure. I wouldn't give it two thumbs up if I had anything bad to say about it.
All right, that's cool. Robert's saving his "this is fires" for something really mind blowing, I guess. But okay, that's fine. It's still a good score. Also, well, I hope. So I know these guys will never have a match or a feud ever again, but I hope there will be a moment eventually where they kind of end up in the ring together, like maybe in the Royal Rumble or something, where, you know, people can have a nice flashback to what happened. But yeah, that's it. That's tough for Drew McIntyre. I don't know where he can go from here, but I guess they'll figure something out. So let's move on from that. We got a lot to talk about. We'll come back to Bad Blood a little later on because there's more matches we need to talk about. But this is the week in review, and we haven't talked about Raw since it happened because it is Sunday night right now. So I know Monday Night Raw is tomorrow, but I still want to mention something from last Monday. Our full review is in the description below. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link to our review of Raw where all three of us gave like thumbs up or thumbs down to every single angle. But for this purposes of this podcast today, I just want to talk about the one angle, which was the Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman match, the last monster standing, they called it, right? So I'm going to go through a couple pictures of this. We're going to review this angle for this night. On this night, we're going to review 6 segments. This was a total of 6 segments that, for the purposes of our review, I've packaged into one 19-minute video that I posted in our description below. So if you need to see that, if you haven't seen it. But for right now, I'm just going to show you a couple pictures. Man, this tease, they did the tease of the Braun Strowman going to the top rope the week before, which was a really good tease. And then Bronson Reed was like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here. And then in the match, it actually happened where they got a bunch of security guards together, a bunch of brave security guards to take Braun Strowman jumping off the top rope on them, which looked freaking really cool. That was one of the best top rope spots I've ever seen. But that wasn't the last one. Adam Pearce was there too. Man, he had to be there because this was complete chaos, and he had to make sure that this went off. But this was the top rope spot with Bronson Reed suplexing Braun Strowman off the top rope, and this was where the ring collapsed. Sorry, I went one slide too far, but yeah, this was how the ring collapsed, which they've done that before, but still, it was pretty cool. The crowd went nuts, and then there was one last surprise at the end because it looked like Bronson Reed was going to be the one to get up and beat the count. But then out of nowhere, freaking literally freaking Seth Rollins came in and curb stomped Bronson Reed in the most like hilarious looking spot. That image of Bronson Reed just face first unconscious right there. That was gold, man. That was gold. And then there's
That's
Seth
true.
Rollins and Braun Strowman got up and he won the last monster standing match. Really amazing feud. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole program was amazing. But for this segment, I just want to show our reviews for this match or this angle on this night on Monday Night Raw. Let me pull up our review sheet. So I got a 2 thumbs up from me and 2 thumbs up from Robert, and then Vlad gave it a thumbs up. So, all right. I'll start with Robert this time. You want to talk about this match?
Yeah, this was really cool, man. But I did. I had a prediction that Bronson Reed would go over. I was wrong. I thought Braun Strowman would do one big job for Bronson Reed.
Yeah, for real.
But that didn't happen. Because Bronson Reed is on the rise, right? So like it would have made sense for him to go over. But whatever. But I thought this match was really cool. I think this was worthy to be on Bad Blood. I don't know why it was on Raw, but hey, you know what? It was still good as it is. It was really good. It was quite the spectacle for sure. And Seth freaking Rollins, man, you killed it.
I mean, I don't like the guy, but that spot was really amazing. It looked really good, and it was like the timing was perfect. The timing was perfect, I gotta say. All right, well, Robert, if you don't have anything else to say, I'll jump over to Vlad. You want to give some analysis of this? Gave it a thumbs up, I guess, right? Not a 2 thumbs up.
No, yeah. I mean, I liked it, but I think I'm thinking that the reason I didn't give it 2 thumbs up is the ring collapse thing. This is what I'm thinking because this was like on Monday, so excuse me, it's not fresh in my mind anymore. But I was probably thinking the ring collapse thing that they've done numerous times already, and I know that's a big spot. But I think I remember reading after also that they weren't quite happy with the way that spot turned out for reasons I'm not 100% sure. I didn't really go into details, but either way, it's fine. And I think even though the Seth spot was cool, I kind of was hoping that Bronson Reed would go over in this feud. Now, I know it's going to set him up to have now this feud with Seth Rollins, but if he's going to also lose to Seth, then they're kind of not helping him out here by losing here. So I don't know what's going to happen. But overall, though, like if you just look at it this was the most unlikely, entertaining feud you could ever imagine. Like if somebody said that you put these two guys together, we would all say like, "Oh God, no, they can't. This is going to be awful. Like, why would anybody ever do this?" This turned out to be spectacular.
All right, you know what? All right, off the cuff, separate question for you guys.
Yeah.
Rate the whole program with our rating system.
I mean,
I'll say the whole program was a fire. I'll even give it more than I loved it. Like this is one of definitely the top big man versus big man feud I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. The creativity and the perfection of everything. I think all the freaking segments. There was nothing that was like off. It all worked really well.
Well, I think also like just having that whole like chaotic feeling, like anything could happen. Like the whole throwing the fan into him, jumping on top of a car. Like everything they've done in this feud, like even going through the wall, that whatever was a little shaky because it kind of did look a little fake, but whatever. I mean, the whole thing was amazing. The whole thing was tremendous. I probably have to agree with you. I would have to say that it's probably a fire. Overall, the whole thing was fire.
All right, Robert, you want to give a review, not for this angle today, but for the whole program?
I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know. Yeah. Not quite fire, but 2 thumbs up because this really took me by surprise because on paper, right, this isn't something I should be enjoying, but yet I somehow did. So yeah, it's good.
All right, well, let's move on to the next angle then. That's enough for that. I'm going to move back to Bad Blood. Like Robert said, that was basically like a pay-per-view quality match, so I had to include it in our review today.
It was.
But okay, so back to Bad Blood, back to Saturday. That was the Robert. Hold on one second. The last segment we watched was on September 30th. That was Raw. So back to Bad Blood. It's October 5th, yesterday as we speak. So I'm moving to the main event, which was Roman and Cody, the unlikely alliance against Solo and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline. So I'm going to go through a couple pictures on this, not a full review. If you guys want to watch the video, if you missed it, it's all in the description. I got a low-res video posted on Blogspot. So if anybody wants to catch that, it's 47 minutes and 51 seconds, everything including the promo package beforehand and the match. So let's go through some pictures before I get our ratings from the homeboys. Speaking of homeboys, Solo Sikoa, baby. Anyways, I'm still depressed about that steel cage match loss to Cody, but here we are again. Let's see if he could make up for it. This band that came out and played Cody Rhodes' music, I'm sorry, for like 2 minutes, I didn't know what the hell they were trying to play. And then I listened, I'm like, is that Cody's song? Like, what the hell is this? That band sounded awful. But anyways, here comes Cody. Nothing against them. I'm sure they work hard and everything, but Roman also had a big to-do. I mean, what about the Bloodline? Why didn't they get a freaking band to play them in? I don't know. That was, to me, this Cody and Roman thing, very full of themselves. They need these big-ass entrances, but here we go. Jacob Fatu and Solo, they had Cody. I skipped a big chunk of the match, but Cody was trying to get that hot tag to Roman for a long time. So the Bloodline were in control of this match. And at the end, I think Jacob Fatu and Cody had a moment where Cody went through Jacob Fatu off the top rope onto the announce table, right? After Jacob Fatu went through the guardrail, and then this is him going through the announce table. And it's the same move Jacob Fatu did to Cody. So Cody got him back. Solo was talking about Roman lied to him, is what he said.
My monitor is gone. I can't see. And now Solo screaming at Reigns. Screaming at Reigns. You hear me? You say who's the next in line? But you lied to me. You understand me? This is my mother.
Oh, and that's where he sees out of the corner of his eye a hooded figure, right? And it turned out to be Jimmy Uso, which, I mean, there was no one else it could have been. But he's telling Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, hey, so who is that? Someone's over there. And when he does his move, he does a super kick. And obviously it's Jimmy Uso at that point. So Jimmy Uso coming to the aid of Roman Reigns after all they've been through. But that led to Roman pinning Solo Sikoa. I skipped a bunch of stuff, but yes. So Jimmy is there, and he has an emotional moment with Roman, and they hug it out, and there you go. Jimmy and Roman Reigns are back together. And what happened after the match? There was an afterbirth a little bit, right? When they acknowledged Cody, we did a good job, we won, and then Jimmy and Roman are gonna leave, and then the Bloodline attack Cody again. Man, this Bloodline, unfortunately, they've been taking loss after loss after loss, and then doing these like post-match afterbirth beatdowns that just make them look weak, I think, unfortunately. I was a fan of Solo's Bloodline, but lately they've been buried. But here's Jimmy Uso telling Roman, we got to go in there and help Cody. And Roman's like, nope, that was one time. This was supposed to be one time, right? But in the end, he listens to Jimmy, and they get in there and they clean house, and they help Cody. And that's that. So I'm going to just stick to this angle, okay? Before we talk about what happens after this, let's just talk about this tag team match and the afterbirth. So what are our ratings for this match? I gave this a thumbs up. Vlad gave this a thumbs up. Robert also gave this a thumbs up. Okay, so we all liked it. Liked it well enough. Nothing bad to say, I guess. But let's get some thoughts. I'll start with Vlad this time. Vlad, you go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have a lot to say about this one. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the work was pretty good. I thought they, it stuck to like actually being a tag team match, which was nice. It didn't like become like this tornado tag team which is common sometimes in today's modern wrestling. It mostly did stick to being a tag match, and the work was very good. And I don't have any issue with who went over. I think if they're building towards something that we're probably not completely seeing, and given what happened after this segment, which we're going to discuss, we kind of have an idea now what it is. We don't know exactly where it's going, but we know who it involves at the very least. That's it. That's all I got. But this was good.
You had told me at the Smackdown when Solo lost to Cody clean in the steel cage that maybe this would be where they could get some heat back if they won this. Because I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, Solo's bloodline have no heat now. They're losers. Why should anyone care about them? So they lost again. How about that? Does that hurt them or what?
Well, to me, it doesn't help them. But look, the bottom line is this: these Cody and Roman are the two flagships of the whole company. You can see based on the fact that they're coming in with the type of music they're coming into with the bands.
Oh my God!
The focus is on these two guys because they are the two biggest stars in the company, and I think that's all right now Triple H really is focusing on. I think the side pieces or the side stories is the bloodline, but really the focus is these two guys and their history and probably their eventual feud again. But so I think, unfortunately, they're taking the Solo's bloodline. If you're a big fan of that, they are taking some hits here, but I could kind of understand that because the focus should be on these two guys. So I kind of trust Triple H's, I trust his creative on this. If he thinks this is a good booking, then I'll give it a chance and see where it goes.
All right, Robert, also thumbs up from you. You want to give any thoughts about this match?
Yeah, it was cool. So I liked it enough to give it a thumbs up. The couple issues. So the live instrument music at the beginning kind of threw me off because they usually only do that for like WrestleManias or the big PLEs. I don't know why you do that for Bad Blood. Plus, it didn't sound good, especially for Cody Rhodes. It did not sound good at all.
Robert with the agreement with me there.
It did not sound good. Roman's was not bad, but Cody's, oh man. Okay, so there was that, and then the very beginning of the match was very, very slow paced for me. It took a while for it to pick up, and I thought they would show a little bit more tension between Roman and Cody, given their history. I don't know if that's really a con or not, but I just thought that they would show a little bit more tension between
they've turned Roman face completely. He's a baby face now. I thought part of me thought that this might be a ruse and he might retake the bloodline at some point. Maybe he could swerve.
No, I did not think that at all.
No, I wanted it to happen, but nope, nothing like that. Roman's a babyface now. All right, no tension between Cody and Roman. In fact, they're buddies. We're gonna see them going out and hanging out and stuff.
Drinking a beer.
Yeah, why not? Why not, man? They have mutual respect for each other. But okay, so that was the match. There was something after the match, which on the Malapert Smart ratings, I considered this a different angle. I am the producer of this show, and I have separated this out as a different angle that happened right afterwards, and that was because The Rock's music hit right when Cody was raising the belt, the WWE title. The People's Champion comes out with the People's Championship belt, and he comes out and he looks at the audience, and Cody looks at him, and Roman looks at him, and The Rock raises his eyebrow, and then that's it. He walks off. And that's the whole angle. Well, there was more to it. There was I guess somebody recorded him walking backstage from here to his car, and he cut a promo. So that's online. Yeah, he was talking a bunch of shit, talking about, there was a picture of Dusty on like one of the trailers, like, I like you, I hate your son. I'm just paraphrasing, but he saw John Cena. He's like, go eat some Fruity Loops or whatever. But anyways, so he did his Rock thing. He got in his car. He raised the people's eyebrow, and he drove off. And The Rock is back. Oh, he did mention that he didn't like what he saw. I guess, which is Roman and Cody kind of aligning or being friends, right? And then there was one more Instagram thing on the internet, social media post that I just saw. I can't tell you exactly where it's from, but I was just scrolling before the show right now, and I saw Solo was up in the audience because I guess him and Jacob Fatu walked up the stairs through the stairwell, and somebody recorded them watching The Rock, and Solo went, "This is all part of the plan," to Jacob.
Oh.
So I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, you could look that up. That's online. But anyways, for this segment, it's one segment. It's 2 minutes and how much is it? 2 minutes and 13 seconds. One in-arena segment that we are reviewing here. Here's our rating system. Robert, big fan of The Rock, gives this 2 thumbs up. Vlad, also 2 thumbs up. So I guess you're excited for the prospect of The Rock coming back. And for me, I'm at an indifferent. So I don't really care. I'm not a big Rock fan, but whatever. I could live with him or I could live without him, but...
Oh, no. Not this version of The Rock. This version of The Rock is fucking amazing. No, this guy needs to... I'm sorry, I just agree with that. Maybe previous versions. This heel Rock version is exactly what we need.
All right, well, I'm going to start with Robert, since Robert is the biggest Rock fan amongst the 3 of us. So go ahead. You have the floor. Anything you want to say about The Rock's return?
Finally, The Rock has come back to WWE. Speaking of which, while we're on the subject of The Rock, for those of you that are watching this video or listening to it, don't forget to lay the Smackdown on the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
All right.
Good one, Robert.
Now
Thank you.
Good point.
Back to this. So, yes, you said it. I'm a big Rock fan. So, yes, there's some bias in my opinion there. So, but whatever. I love it. I think WWE is a lot more interesting with The Rock involved. You know, the build up to WrestleMania was incredible because of the final boss.
Yeah.
You know, it was WrestleMania that I looked forward to it, really every WrestleMania, but this one in particular, the build up to it, with the final boss Rock was incredible, and I'm glad that he's back. Right? I was just hoping, and maybe this might happen in the future, but I will admit this is a far-fetched idea. I was hoping that at some point Solo Sikoa would grab the mic and say, "We did it for you, Rock. We did it for the people."
You wanted him to be like his dad, huh?
Yeah.
Well, look,
obviously that didn't happen, and like I said, that's probably a far-fetched idea, but who knows? You know, maybe it could happen.
Hey, the one thing about Solo getting buried constantly that I could make sense out of it is if The Rock is going to be the next tribal chief and Solo is just going to pass it to him willingly, then okay, fine. At this point, that makes sense because Solo's been losing left and right. Like, he can't do this. He just can't. So, Vlad, any thoughts from you? You go ahead.
Well, I understand, like like you were saying, like you're not a huge fan of The Rock. And, I can kind of understand some of the things because, his face or like his goody two-shoes version of where he just comes out and repeats the same stuff he always says and gets the crowd.
Let me just interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah, good.
I'll pause your clock. But for anyone who's watching who doesn't watch us, I have been adamant that I am not a fan of The Rock. And yes, it's mostly because I have seen so many scenes of The Rock, and my sister was a big Rock fan, so she wouldn't let me forward anything. And yes, he had so many babyface promos where he would just repeat his catchphrase, and it just drove me mental. I thought he was overrated growing up. But yes, you're right, Vlad. This version of The Rock is really fucking funny. The way he keeps calling himself the final boss. Which is pretty good. And he curses up a storm. His promo wasn't bad. Okay, you guys can go listen to it if you want. It's on YouTube. But all right, Vlad. Sorry, I'm gonna give the floor back to you. My bad.
No. But yeah, I mean, the point is, or as you just said, this version of The Rock is tremendous. This is the heel version. I always thought he was a great heel when he came back. Or when he was going Hollywood Rock, in 2003. I thought that was like one of the best versions of him, and I think this is also now the final boss Rock is also one of the best versions. He works better as a heel. The arrogance and the way he speaks. It's better as a heel than it would be as a face. It just doesn't work as well. So this is perfect. What it means going forward, I mean, we have some ideas. Obviously, he's going to feud with Cody. He's going to probably feud with Roman, but in what sense? Like, is he going to now work with the bloodline, that solo bloodline? I'm assuming, right? Because he's part of the bloodline. He's still related to all those people, right? So I don't know, but I guess it could be that whole Survivor Series War Games thing that they keep talking about, right? War Games.
Oh my God! Thank you, Adam Pearce.
Yeah, exactly. That's whatever. It could be a Bloodline War Games thing. I don't know. I mean, we're all getting. It's a guess at this point, but just the fact that he's back and involved, it should be better TV, better entertainment, and definitely more viewers watching, right? So that's all you could care about if you're a fan of the show. So good stuff.
Right after this was not part of Bad Blood, but we also don't have a review for this because it was not part of the show. But we were discussing on last week's episode the whole tease about Kevin Owens turning on Cody, because Kevin Owens had been talking about how he was not very happy about Cody aligning with Roman after everything they've been through, obviously, and Kevin Owens was there to help Cody win and finish the story at WrestleMania. So he's been on the fence about this, and then finally, after the show, I guess he saw Roman and Cody. I mean, we can watch this, I think, because this is not a WWE clip. This is from... Where is this from? Hold on one second. The Wrestling Classics YouTube page. I don't know where they got it from, but I guess we can watch the scuffle the attack, because here's Cody and KO talking, and I guess some fan is just with a camera up on the stairwell or something. And Robert did send this to me too. And there he pushes him, and the crowd goes, "Oh!" That would have been cool to be a fan and like catch a glimpse of that.
What?
I mean, it's nice.
Oh shit! Oh shit! God,
listen to what he says.
Calm down. Kevin, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually. What the fuck is he doing?
All right, so there you go. That's what happened. The KO heel turn happened, but it wasn't even on the show. They had all these chances with KO, with the steel chair behind Cody. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And they did it off the air after the show for social media, I guess. Okay, so I mean, any thoughts about that? I'll start with Vlad. Whatever you want to say about this. You don't have to give a rating, but any thoughts about the fact that it happened after the show, and then the fact that the heel turn happened?
Yeah, it's kind of cool that it happened after the show, but I thought it was kind of cool in a sense. But I don't really understand the heel turn that much for me. I don't understand why he's so pissed off.
Well, I can argue with you on that one. I totally get it. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. So,
you go first.
Because he's teaming with Roman. I get it.
Man, they hate Roman. I like how Kevin Owens is the one guy who's keeping the old animosity about something that happened. Like, this happens in wrestling many times. But now, since they're a babyface, it's like, oh, all's good. No, bro, you put us through hell for years. Roman was a horrible guy.
I understand that, but okay, it's not like they're best friends or something. They're having a tag match against people that they hate even more, So I don't think it's one of those things where it's he has to beat him up over it. It seems a little bit extreme, but that's all right. Kevin Owens, he's kind of a whiny bitch anyways. That's his character. He complains. He always turns his back on whoever he's partnered up with. So, they actually did that whole thing. Right, and so now Cody has joined that same, list of people that he has turned his back on that were supposed to be his closest friends. That's kind of his gimmick at this point. I thought, it was cool that they did it like this. I mean, obviously, I think it would have been probably better on one of the shows. I mean, Smackdown, obviously, but it's kind of cool. The crowd reaction was kind of hilarious and kind of added to it, to be honest with you. So I'm okay with it.
Okay, Robert, you got any thoughts on this you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting to see where an angle plays out off air, right? And it's recorded through through a fan recording it. It doesn't make. I don't get why they decided to do that, right? Usually, all the turns that happen, it's on air. So I don't really understand the reasoning behind that, but okay. I mean, this is the world we live in now, right? Like where things can be captured on social media and then it can be used as part of the angle. So, we'll see where it goes from here. But it was a surprise to me, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're the one who texted it to me last night. But I mean, there is one thing maybe some old heads would think of, but I don't know if it's the same anymore because I know they used to get paid off for being on the show, and then they would get like royalties for every time it's replayed and stuff. So Kevin Owens didn't actually get on the show. So I don't know if he gets paid for this really, but I'm sure he gets some kind of yearly salary or something.
Oh,
I don't know how the royalties are going to work for the. Yeah, he didn't get on the PLE though. But okay, so it happened off air, and I think I guess that's a creative way to do it. I mean, I don't know about it. I don't know if it's that great though. I mean, look at this camera angle. It's a shitty camera angle from up top.
I don't know. The one that
the one I
Robert said yesterday was a bit
different.
better.
It's a different angle.
All right. Well, still though, come on.
It was a little bit closer. Like
when you do it in the ring, you got all the cameras, you got the lights, you got the people. I don't know. I would have done it in the ring, but okay.
Yeah, probably. But this was cool, and obviously this was something they had planned. Is they had his car ready to go, and he was just.
And I was right. I was right. Last week, between the three of us, I was the one that was saying KO was going to turn, and you guys said Randy was going to turn. No, man, I don't think the Randy thing's going to happen for a while.
No. I still think Randy's going to turn.
Me too.
Eventually.
Yes, eventually. But KO did it first. So
yeah,
he did it first.
KO did it first. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, then. All right, well, let's move along. I'm going to move on to, let's see what the next topic I got here is. The next topic, I guess we're sticking with Bad Blood. It's Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, which Dominic Mysterio was in that shark cage, and that was the big gimmick for this match because he's been interfering a lot. But this one especially, I'm not going to show much of the match because the ending to me was kind of a popcorn fart. But it was very hard for me to rate this match. But let me go through a couple pictures at least.
Yeah.
So I got 30 minutes and 45 seconds for two segments here: the promo package beforehand and the match. It's in the description below if you guys missed it. There's a low-res version if you guys really want to watch the whole thing. So I'm not going to go through it. It's there for you for historical reference. But here's some pictures of how it happened. Here's when they lifted Dominic up. And here's the weird thing. Okay, I'm skipping way towards the end of the match, but the door just opened by itself.
Well,
right?
They said he pickpocketed it.
Yeah, they said that in the commentary.
They did? He pickpocketed who? How? I don't know.
He used like a lockpick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way they said it.
Picked the lock.
He picked the lock, is what I meant.
Yeah, it's this things you learn when you're in prison. So
that's
all right.
kind of what they were saying. I think that's what Michael Cole even said.
Yeah.
You learned that from prison.
So there was another moment in this match that I guess at the moment when it was happening, for a split second, it was like, what the fuck? Because Dominic was trying to get down and help Liv, and then he fell off. Like he fell out of the little shark cage, and I didn't know his leg was like attached to it somehow with like a chain. So I thought he was gonna fall on his head.
I had no idea it was attached to you, to be honest.
I had no idea. So for that split second, I thought he was going to fucking fall all the way off. So that was fucking nuts. But only for that 1 second. So I don't know if this whole thing was worth it to have him in that shark cage. I'll discuss that after I go through the finish. But so Rhea had a chance with Dom hanging there to just, go to town on him with the kendo stick. So that was the big payoff for anyone who was rooting for the babyface here. So Dominic got a few whacks from Rhea there, and then the finish of the match is basically Raquel Rodriguez coming out of nowhere and returning, and they haven't mentioned her at all. It was kind of hard to remember to me that she was even with Liv Morgan in a tag team. So she just came in and caused a disqualification, and that was the end of the match. So it was a DQ. And Liv Morgan keeps the title, and they're just going to punt the ball down the field and, I guess, continue on with this. But after a long match like that, it ended with Raquel Rodriguez coming in. And okay, so let me go through some ratings for what we got on this. Let me see. So I gave this a thumbs down. I didn't like it. I can't really tell you how I would have done it, but after Robert and Vlad talk, I'll explain myself a little bit. Vlad, he has an Orange Cassidy half thumbs up on this. I guess you kind of liked it for whatever reason. And Robert was the only one out of the three who gave it a full thumbs up. So I'll start with Robert this time. You go ahead. Give it a thumbs up. You liked it. So
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
All right, cool. So I thought it was hilarious to see Dominic on that, what they call it, a shark cage or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious to see him just like hanging there.
Yeah, that was a funny image.
Yeah, that was funny, and especially when he was hanging off one leg. That's pretty hilarious. The match itself was pretty cool too. Also, I want to point out, as the match was happening, I did think to myself about Liv Morgan. Now, I've never disliked Liv Morgan ever, but I do think, as I was watching this match, I was thinking that she has definitely, or at least to me, improved as an overall performer in the ring and her character work as well.
Yes,
So
even happy with that.
Yeah, that was a thought that was in my head as I was watching the match. And then when Raquel Rodriguez showed up, I was like, wait, why is she interfering? It took me like a few seconds to remember that they used to be a tag team. I didn't remember right away, but they were friends at some point. I don't remember what happened to her though. She
got injured.
Oh, she got injured. Okay.
I think it's supposed to be the Rhea injured her, right? That was the thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't remember what happened to her, but I remember her and Liv were. I believe they were tag team.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. They could have dropped some hint on us. Maybe like just a video of them saying, "I've been a tag team champion. I've been this. I've been that." Man, I don't know. I watch a lot of wrestling, so it totally slipped my mind that they were even aligned from before. But okay, let me jump to Vlad. We want to move on with the show a little bit. We got to pick up the pace. We got a few more topics to get to. But Vlad, let me hear your thoughts on this. So you gave it a half thumbs up. What didn't you like about it then?
I mean, mostly it was just the finish. I mean, it was just what the hell happened there? Like, what was the plan? It was just either they had something planned and they fucked it up, or they just didn't have a good finish at all set up here because it made no sense. I mean, it became really convoluted at the end when, like, she was like telling the referee, "Oh, I'm going to stop what I'm doing here. I'm going to go beat up," and then the referee was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good," or something like that. Like, yeah, he deserves it, or some. I'm like, what the? Okay, that's retarded.
That's right.
I thought that was dumb. Okay.
Referee's discretion, baby.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'll let you go beat up Dom like a pinata. But I mean, it was entertaining. It was funny. Dom was hilarious during the match as he was on top there, and that spot where like he went over and the thing was hooked up to his leg. I thought that was fucking awesome, to be honest with you. I didn't understand what that was going on for a second as well. I was like, oh my god, is he gonna fucking fall off this thing by accident? But so it was entertaining. The match itself, the work was good. Rhea is such a good seller. Like, she sells so well. It's so realistic when looks like she's hurt. Like okay, she's Liv is working the leg, right? But man, Rhea sells so perfectly. But then they just to screw it up, this entertaining and kind of fun match. I would have given it one thumb up for sure. But I don't even understand what the hell that finish was. They didn't even say who won by DQ. They were like, "Well, it's over by DQ." Okay, weird. Did they even announce the winner? Did they even say anything after? It was just like, what the hell happened there?
Well, it looked like Raquel was trying to drag.
They were confused. They were confused at what the hell was going on.
Raquel was about to drag Liv Morgan onto Rhea Ripley so that she would win the match, but it was already a DQ. Like, they had already rang the bell.
She did that. Yeah, she did that, making me think that there was something else that was supposed to happen, and they fucked it up somehow. I don't know where they went wrong. I mean, I didn't read any dirt sheets on this, but it looks like the fact that she tried to put her on top of her made me think, like, okay, she probably does not realize that this was supposed to be a DQ, so something went wrong here. But anyways, I
don't know. Yeah, so the ending for me kind of ruined the match. Like you guys said, the work was fine. The work was good. Actually, I have a lot of praise for Liv Morgan on this match because Liv Morgan, to me, Rhea, they've instructed Rhea to sell for her, but also she's laying it in. Like, she does these kicks that are like, it's not like Alexa Bliss. You know how some people say these smaller wrestlers, they don't seem realistic? Liv Morgan's kicks to me at least seem like, okay, those could hurt. You know what I mean? So she's really laying it in. But the finish to me, okay, so I'm really confused by how to rate this. Okay, so I think there's nothing else they could have done. because I was wondering what the fuck was going to happen here.
No,
Dominic's
they botched something. It was a botch. It was clear.
But in terms of just the fact that Raquel was going to come in and ruin the match, you know,
which is
like,
okay. That alone could have been okay if they just the way they did it. But sorry, Ken, I keep interrupting you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just saying that with Dominic locked away, this was going to be the time Rhea was going to go over and win, right? If all's fair, and, you know, obviously she's going to win. So
right.
They kind of had to do something like this so they could. This was the right thing to do. But in that case, I don't know about the whole Dominic and the shark cage thing, because what was the point? We didn't really get anything out of that. So I can't really say what I would have done. This seems like the right thing to do because they could finish the feud now and continue it with Raquel in there, and now she has to face Raquel before she faces Liv again. But this whole ending just kind of was so sad. And, you know, I was watching again with Haley, and we were into the match. We really wanted to see what happened, and then it was just it was nothing. You know, it was like there was nothing exciting about the ending. So, all right then.
I want to add one comment I just thought of right now.
Sure.
Because a few weeks ago, I think I don't know if all three of us, but at least I did. I was bashing Judgment Day 2 or 3 weeks ago about how because they're looking really weak, and I think we all agreed that they needed to add muscle. Well, they did.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
They did. But
that's a good point. I forgot to mention that. Is she going to be in Judgment Day now? I mean, it seems.
You would think so.
Yeah, I would think so.
Representing the Judgment Day.
This wasn't the muscle I was. This wasn't the muscle I was expecting.
She's bigger than a lot of the guys, so
yeah, that's true.
To be fair, so. Yeah.
All right, so now when they're gonna feud with Rhea, they're gonna have Dom, Liv, and Raquel. But I guess she has Damian Priest on her side. So okay then, let's move along. Next topic. This is one I was on the fence that I even wanted to mention, but I do want to mention it just to bring up a negative because we've been praising a lot of WWE, and you know this one I kind of didn't really like. This is Nia Jax and Bayley. So I'm not gonna go through the match at all. I just want the review from you guys, but. Long story short, Tiffany again tried to cash in. This is the same thing that happened last time at SummerSlam. So Tiffany comes in, she's gonna cash in, and Nia Jax is there laying unconscious, and Tiffany's like, "Should I do it? Oh my God, should I do it? I don't know if I should do it." And then Nia Jax wakes up because she takes so long. So this has happened a bunch of times already, and it ruined the match for Bayley. Bayley tried to roll her up, but Nia kicked out, and that was a good kick out, by the way. I thought that was a cool moment. But and Tiffany actually did interfere. Like she distracted Bayley. Bayley was going to go for a top rope move, and Tiffany threw the briefcase at her, and then that was enough of a distraction that led to the what is it called? The bonsai drop or whatever she calls it. The annihilator. The annihilator. I'm sorry,
okay.
But yeah. So again, kind of a repetitive finish. So for me, on my review, I gave this a thumbs down, another thumbs down. So both the women's WWE Championship and the women's World Championship, I gave thumbs downs to. Nothing against women, but I don't know. I didn't like those two matches.
You
on this
misogynist.
night. Yes, but Vlad is at an indifferent, so he didn't give this any type of thumbs down or thumbs up.
I think actually this should be a thumbs down. I'm sorry.
You're gonna switch it. All right,
yeah.
I'll update your post on our YouTube post. That's cool. And then Robert, you mentioned that I guess you just had other things to do. Maybe you had to run.
Oh no! I just didn't care enough to really pay attention to the match, so I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, so he didn't give a rating on this, but it's up to you if you want to comment. But I will ask Vlad, I guess. Am I alone in this? I mean, okay, I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone.
No,
I agree with
Vlad too.
No, this is bad. This is very bad.
Of all the matches, like you guys said, the Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman could have been a pay-per-view match. Maybe even Chelsea Green and Michin. But this one...
Yeah? That was garbage.
Literally.
That's going to come on our honorable mentions later on. It's not a topic today. But okay. All right. So do you want to move on, Vlad, or do you have anything else you want to say?
I'll just say, I'll be real quick. It was clumsy. There were spots that were awful. They shouldn't have even tried. There was a spot, like the commentators couldn't even figure out what the moves were. Like there was a spot where she did this I guess Nia was trying to do a Samoa drop or that where she picks her up, but like she didn't do it right, and even the commentators were confused of what was even going on during the match. They tried to do a Hurricanrana, like Nia was trying to do a Hurricanrana. Like, what were they going for here? Like, why were they giving her these weird spots? Like, she's not that good. Like, keep it simple for her. She's a big lady that should do power moves and like stuff like that. Don't make her do stuff that she can't do and then ruin this whole match. It was very clumsy and it was very AEW like, and that actually deserves a thumbs down because the work here was very bad.
And the whole Tiffany Stratton teasing this cash in,
yeah.
I'm so over it. I'm tired of it. This needs to happen soon. They need to get rid of this briefcase. This is the worst
either
money.
cash it in or don't, bitch.
Yeah, this is the worst Money in the Bank story that I've ever seen personally. I don't like this at all. At the beginning, I thought it was interesting because they're friends, but why are they even friends? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, it makes no sense why anybody would be friends. Why these two people are friends. But anyways, okay.
Moving along. Next topic. All right, so one last thing from WWE before I jump to a couple topics from AEW this week. So it was a WWE heavy week because they had their Bad Blood and a lot of blow-off matches. But there was also NXT's debut on the CW, which had a marquee matchup of Giulia against Cora Jade. Giulia against Roxanne Perez. I'm sorry, Robert. I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping the gun. But yes, Cora Jade did return. As it was a masked figure who came in and DDT Giulia, planted her on her head. And that gave Roxanne Perez the win and retaining the NXT Women's Championship. And it was revealed to be Cora Jade. And I also mentioned in my YouTube post review that, man, HBK and Triple H definitely are the bookers on this show because Cora Jade returns and immediately she just rips off her top. And I'm like, you know what? This is as Attitude Era as it could get right now, basically. So
Yeah.
what can I say?
Well, he didn't completely rip off her top, but I see what you're saying.
That's as much as we can get anymore, Vlad. But
I got you.
It wasn't bad. It was a good moment. And Robert is a big Cora Jade fan. Who knew? I mean, he put it in his review on our YouTube post. Check out the link in the description below if you want our full review of this episode of NXT. For this day, we're just talking about one segment here. It was a match, or two segments, and then backstage, Cora Jade and Roxanne had a moment. But 16 minutes and 17 seconds it weighed in as for our review. If you guys want to see the whole match, it's in the description below as well. And our reviews on this, me and Robert gave it a thumbs up. Okay, we both liked it. HBK booking, baby. I like it. And Vlad gave it a half a thumbs up. So Vlad kind of liked it. So I'll start with Robert on this because you're the NXT expert on our panel. So you have the floor. Anything you want to say about Cora Jade's return? And also just NXT's first show on the CW if you want to talk about that as well. So whatever you want to say.
Oh, so okay, Cora Jade's return. So I first remember seeing Cora Jade, I don't know, it was like a year or two ago, when she was still friends with, storyline-wise, friends with Roxanne Perez. They were both baby faces at the time. And then when she turned heel, she turned on Roxanne. And when they were still baby faces, there wasn't anything interesting about them, in my opinion. But when Cora Jade turned heel, she became a lot cooler to me. So I was first a fan of Cora Jade first before Roxanne Perez because Roxanne turned much later.
Interesting. So now they're both heels. Maybe they can
now they're both
get
heels
back together.
And
which is what Roxanne said. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And they're so much more interesting now than they were when they're still baby faces. So yes, I'm a fan of both. Now Roxanne Perez has had a really good run as champ and still is the champ. And I'll say this much, okay? I love Roxanne Perez for all the right reasons, and I kind of love Cora Jade for all the wrong ones.
Uh-huh.
I got
You mean those reasons?
All right.
But she's good though. She's good. It's not because it wasn't me just waiting for her to return just because just the wrong reasons. She's actually pretty talented too.
Yeah, no, we're messing around. And all these people are really hard workers, and they've worked hard to get the spot that they have. So we should. But anyways, Robert, any thoughts about the NXT's debut on the CW? Did you think it was really good, or what's up with that?
It was okay. I was really hyped, but I've seen better episodes of NXT.
Yeah.
This wasn't the best episode of NXT I've ever seen, but this is very hyped, right? A lot of people were really looking forward to it, and it wasn't bad.
All right. Well, sorry about that. Go ahead.
One thing, because they also had this match, right? So I want to set my Roxanne Perez fandom aside for just a few seconds and say I don't agree with the booking here. I don't think that was a good idea, right?
You wanted Giulia to win the title off the bat.
Well, okay, again, putting my pro Roxanne bias to the side for a second, I don't think this was a good idea because there was a lot of hype around Giulia, right? And they want to build up this NXT brand, and I'm sure she's very popular in Japan. I'm sure they want a lot of people who watch her in Japan to watch NXT as well. I would think it would make more business sense, that Giulia goes over here. But hey, whatever. They went with what they went with. Giulia losing to Roxanne. Now again, as a Roxanne fan, I'm actually happy with the result, but it just doesn't make sense.
Hey Vlad, so you actually watched this match pretty closely. You got any thoughts on Giulia?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I have to be honest. I thought the match wasn't very good. I have to be honest with you. I didn't really see what you guys saw. I mean, I'm not to say that these two girls can't work. Maybe they probably can, and I'm sure they probably have had better matches. I just didn't see it here. I thought there was a lot of clumsiness in this match for me. There was a lot of spots that just didn't look that great to me. That's just my personal opinion. But it was still, and the only reason I'm giving it, or I give it a half star, is I think they're capable of more just based on everything I've heard about both women. So I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt that it was just not, for me, they had a bad night. And they'll do better if they have a rematch down the line or whatever, which they probably will based on what I'm seeing in this feud. But so yeah, I mean, I can really talk about the feud. I mean, I'm not really an NXT watcher, like week to week, like you guys are.
You did watch this one though. It didn't make you feel like you should keep watching, huh?
I will watch in segments and see if there's some stuff that interests me. I did want to see this match because of the hype specifically on Giulia. I didn't really see it. I have to be honest. I don't see much. I don't see a lot there, right there, right now.
When she got planted with that DDT, she sold it really well, and her outfit is very, very cool and flashy. I will say that. Oh, and her theme song, her theme music is really good.
Yeah, yep. But
that's all the comments I'll give. But yes, I mean,
I didn't work-wise. I didn't really see it. Okay,
I don't know. Maybe these two just didn't click. Maybe they didn't have chemistry, but maybe she's had better matches. I don't know.
Well,
I've never seen another Giulia match, but okay.
That's the thing. That's just my first time watching it, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know, but I didn't like what I saw this first match. That's all.
All right. Well, we'll have more chances maybe. She'll probably come up to the main roster someday. But for now, let me move on. I got to run through a couple more things. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. So let's jump to AEW. Man, what a week. WWE really was in the front line in the spotlight here, and AEW... AEW tried, okay? I'll give them that. They tried, but let's see if their efforts were misguided or misdirected. So we're going to jump to Dynamite. We're on October 2nd, this past Wednesday. It's Sunday night as we speak, and this was title versus title. The AEW World title and the Continental Championship title. Okada versus Bryan Danielson, the main event. And they had a significant overrun. So this was like...
I thought it would never end.
They were going to give it... So for this whole angle today, it's in the description below, all of it, all the segments. There was a Danielson promo, the match, and then after the match when Okada gives everybody the middle finger, which you'll see in a second. But all of it is 37 minutes and 4 seconds. So yeah, a long match and long. So but Tony Khan thought this is what the people want. They want to see Danielson and Okada go Broadway, I guess, or almost, or whatever. So anyways, not going to go through the match, obviously, but I'll show what happened at the end. So Moxley's stable with Claudio and Pac, they show up, which was interesting because I guess Moxley's got the next title shot, so they don't want Danielson to lose that title. So I thought, okay, that's kind of good storyline-wise. And then Danielson kind of rolled him up, and Okada's shocked, and Okada gives him the Rainmaker afterwards like a heel that he is. And then he goes to the other heels that kind of distract him, gives Claudio the middle finger, gives Pac the middle finger, and walks off. So I thought that was an interesting interaction between two heel factions. He just gave him the middle finger and angrily left. But he's like, well, what can I do? It's over. So there you go. So for this angle, just the match, Okada and Danielson. So that was the angle that all three of us reviewed. And we all gave it an Orange Cassidy half thumbs up. So I guess none of us were too impressed with it. I don't know if anyone's got comments on this match before we move on to the post-match.
I have comments.
Okay, then Robert,
go first,
you
please.
go ahead then. Yes, you go first.
Oh, man. Okay. So then I think the way this match was supposed to play out is, I think, if the match goes over 20 minutes or something like that.
That's right.
Yes. The Continental title was only on the line for the first 20 minutes because those are the
Okay.
Continental title rules.
Okay, so that was the stipulation, right? Well,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that if you were watching how they worked the first 20 minutes. It was so slow. I didn't get it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Good analysis.
So yeah, that made absolutely no sense. The especially the way Okada uses like walking around really slow, taking his time, attacking Danielson. What's funny is after the 20 minutes went by, then it picked up. The pace picked up,
That's
and
right.
then the match to me started becoming more of what I expected from the two of them. Right? I don't know what went on in the first 20 minutes, but it wasn't until after the first 20 minutes where it's like, okay, this is the Okada and Danielson that I expected. I don't know why they decided to work it that way, where they didn't move with a sense of urgency. Maybe they were, I don't know. They knew how.
All right. Well, listen, Robert. Let me interrupt you.
Okay.
Let's just the big elephant in the room. The match is Okada and Danielson out of nowhere. They booked this match like 2 nights before on Twitter. Like Tony Khan was probably like in his couch saying, you know what, I'm gonna do Okada and Danielson, and he posted on Twitter, and it's like, okay, like dude, and then it's an out of nowhere match, a cold match. They're not feuding. Are you excited to see Okada and Danielson? Like, are you that much? I mean, you would be the mark out of the three of us for this match.
I get that, but if the stipulation, right?
So
the stipulation that was added, the way they worked the match, you wouldn't think that was the stipulation.
Yeah, so the stipulation bothered. So you're saying this could have been good, but they didn't do it well. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, I think the ending to me was the most interesting part, with Moxley's stable coming out and kind of being the distraction. And, that was the only interesting thing. So that's why I gave it a half thumbs up. I didn't care for the match at all. I don't care to see a long Danielson-Okada match. But, Vlad, you want to give any comments before we move on to the afterbirth here?
Yeah, I'll try to be quick. I know every time I say that, it doesn't happen. I'm sorry.
It's all right, man. Whatever you got to say, get it off your chest.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I agree with Robert completely that the first part of the match seemed like it was just dragging, and I kept looking at like how much is left. I was like, my God, there's still 20 minutes. This is insane. I kept forwarding. It just wouldn't end. This whole thing would not end. And yes, it did pick up. Eventually, they did start wrestling, but at that point, I was already out of it, dude. I was like, I gotta get to bed, man. I can't keep up with this. This is some Mark booking, anyways. Why am I even watching
Mark
this?
booking.
I don't even. Yeah, it really is.
I don't know. I think he was going for some kind of like, he thought this would blow the ratings a little bit somehow, but I don't think anyone cares about this. He's just not on the same wavelength as the fans. in this regard.
No, there's only there are people that care about this, but they're so minute. There's like maybe like okay, let's say there's 100% of wrestling fans. There's maybe like 10, maybe even let's say 15% of wrestling fans care about.
When was this match a thing, Robert? Like when would Danielson and Okada like have been a good match?
It would just be like a dream match. It's just
like in 2017 maybe or something like that. I mean that.
Yeah, I mean at that point they're both much closer to their prime.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. This is the problem with this. Like Okada is past his prime. He's not the same Okada, but they're booking him like every match he has is really important, and it's just not anymore. So I don't know. This is an issue.
No, that's a shame. It is a shame. But I already, you know my thoughts on Okada. That I don't even have to say anymore.
But the middle finger thing, I will say yes. I love that at the end when he gave everyone the middle finger.
It's not so much the middle finger. It is the face he makes. Is really what makes it. It's not so much because anybody could flick somebody off, but the face he makes, even I have to admit, is fucking hilarious.
All right. Well, I got to move on to the afterbirth real quick. So the afterbirth was the Moxley stable came in and they were gonna kick Danielson's ass. And the big question from the past few weeks has been, is Wheeler Yuta going to stay with his Blackpool Combat Club buddies or side with Bryan Danielson? And he is currently trios champions with Pac and Claudio. So Yuta does come out, and then there's like a weird scuffle. There's a moment where Moxley looks at him, and they don't really want to hit Yuta. Like they get into a battle, but they make sure they don't hit him. They kind of just push him off, and they powder out. So there's a weird thing where they're still trying to get Yuta on their side, and then Yuta gets on the mic, and he's like, well, if you're going to get to him, you got to go through me. And that's it. Yuta and Danielson hug it out. So I guess for the moment, Yuta's on Danielson's side. So that was the angle for this night. So I consider that another separate angle, 8 minutes and 34 seconds, 4 segments. I mean, Danielson had a promo, and there was also a promo for Moxley's group earlier in the night in the parking lot, which I skipped. But all that's in the description if you guys want to look at it. I don't have time to play it here tonight. But for this segment, for this angle on this night, let's see what our reviews were. Vlad and Robert actually gave this a thumbs up with this whole thing, okay? And I gave it a half thumbs up. I don't know. I thought it was the weaker segment. I mean, this whole thing with Moxley stable has been mysterious and interesting, and I've been giving it good ratings the past few weeks. But for this one in particular, I don't know. It all seemed weird to me, and I don't know. It just didn't feel right. There's something weird about it with Yuta, you know, and maybe he's gonna turn on Danielson. I don't know.
Yes, obviously. I'm calling him 100%.
Are you calling it? Okay.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Okay. Well, well, there you go. So, if anyone's got any comments on this,
my only comment, you're right. There is something weird. The fact that Wheeler Yuta is an angle with top guys. That's what's weird about it. You got it, Keon. You nailed it, brother. You are the man. That's the analysis that we're
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Wheeler Yuta working with top guys is weird.
I don't know what they were going for. I mean, Excalibur did mention that nobody put their hands on Wheeler. Like, nobody hit him, or maybe they didn't want to hit him, or maybe they still kind of want to try to convince him. They don't want to beat him up. So that was that, but I just didn't think the angle was so hot for this night. That's why I only gave it a half thumbs up. But Robert, anything you want to say before I move on to our last segment of the day?
Yeah, just a couple things. I actually really like the opening segment promo from Moxley and Claudio, and Marina was speaking in a different language. I don't know what she was
Moldovan or something.
I think she was speaking Moldovan, which is a little bit like Russian, so I kind of understood a little bit of it.
So I actually really dug that opening promo. I thought that was really cool. And then
all right.
And then in the end, when they were restraining Bryan Danielson, I forgot exactly what Moxley said, but he said something. Well, basically, should we hit play? sure, there's like a reason for him doing all this.
Your simple-minded, blueberry-picking little brain. None of this is about me. None of this is what I want, and I'm fighting for something much bigger than myself. Everything I'm going to do is because I have to, because no one else will. No one else can. If any of this was about me, I'd have put you out of your misery years ago.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, so he's
You're right. There was something interesting.
Yeah, that's intriguing because there's still a mystery element to this that we're not like completely sure about. So.
Okay. All right. Well, then there you go. Good. That was a good pickup right there. That was interesting. Well, let's see what happens next week. Join the Malapert Smart podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, and we will be covering this angle as it comes. Even if it is a popcorn fart, we're going to have to discuss what happened. But okay, last angle of the day before we get to our honorable mentions. Let's see what it is. It's... Oh. I'm sorry to laugh.
Yeah, I'm leaving, bro. After talking about this stupidity. Okay, fine, go ahead.
Okay, so this angle, Taz was attacked in Pittsburgh. As we see, Nigel McGuinness is over here on commentary in Taz's spot. And they mentioned, Nigel's here just after his loss to Bryan Danielson. He's back on commentary. I guess he kind of no-sold that. I mean, you could kind of see like a little somber look of humility on his face. But yeah, Taz is not there, and apparently he was attacked. And later in the night, we got a little interview from Hook saying, whoever did this, I'm going to get them. And he also did the same thing on Collision. There was a little interview where he was interviewed and same exact repeat of the same thing. So this whole angle on this day weighed in at a whopping 46 seconds. So a link to that video, if you want to watch it, is in the description. 2 segments, the commentary table when they open the show and they explain what happened, and then the Hook backstage interview. All of that was 46 seconds. Vlad gave this a thumbs down, and his only comment on our review post was, "What the fuck?" And Robert, you kind of like this. You gave it a half thumbs up. I gave it an indifferent. I am waiting to see. I'm on wait and see mode, but I mean, it is a silly thing, and I just wanted to make this an angle on our show to review today. So, Vlad, you were the most adamant in your review of it being a thumbs down. I want some comments from you, please.
It's so stupid. I don't even know where to begin. Hey guys, our coworker was attacked. We don't know what happened. We don't know anything that's going on. Somebody beat the shit out of him.
They were in Pittsburgh, so I don't know if Pittsburgh like a bad neighborhood or you can't walk around in the streets without getting mugged, or somebody on the show. No. Like who on the show? Like maybe Jericho's learning tree. I guess they didn't let it go, or. I don't know.
I don't even know where to begin with this, but okay. I mean,
so this is a bad idea. You don't like how they did this. You don't like them doing an off-site.
No, because it's stupid. Because it's just in reality. I mean, what I get, Taz is just taking some time off because he has to have knee surgery or something. But there's no reason to make the broadcast there into this to be an angle. It's insane. It's just stupid. It's the mind of a child. It's the mind of someone that literally probably takes too many pharmaceuticals. That's the problem, It's just too much stuff in his head.
All right, well, let me jump to Robert. Robert gave it a half thumbs up. Robert kind of liked it.
I'm going to keep this brief. I gave it a half thumbs up because the Hook's promo it made me laugh. I'm sorry. It just made me laugh. So I was like, all right.
Oh, my God. The worst, maybe arguably the worst promo guy in the whole business is Hook. You can't say.
Hey, look at that fierce look on his face, man. When he finds out who attacked his dad, that guy's gonna be in trouble. But okay,
yeah, I agree.
All right, that basically does it for the show today. I've done too many angles. There was a lot more, honestly, but I'm just gonna do those as honorable mentions. So I'm just gonna list off some things in my honorable mentions list. Okay. So if you guys have any honorable mentions, also you can mention it after mine. But the Ricochet Ospreay match, Ricochet and Will Ospreay, which had that ridiculous double pin. Oh my God, it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen of Ospreay landing right the way they're both getting pinned. Okay, so I thought that was horrible. And then Takeshita, anyways, ruined. They restarted the match after the double pin. And then Takeshita came in and blew the match. So I gave that match a thumbs down. Vlad gave it an indifferent, which I was surprised that he didn't give it a thumbs down. But
yeah, I expected this type of match, though. So.
Robert gave it a thumbs up. Okay, so you actually liked the match, but okay. And then my other honorable mentions, I guess the next one I have is Shelton Benjamin's debut, when Prince Nana finally was going to step up to MVP and challenge him to a match. MVP said, "Hey, you got to refer that to the complaint department," and Shelton Benjamin debuted. So there you go. All right, that's not bad. Interesting. Maybe Bobby Lashley next.
Yeah, reuniting the Hurt Business. Would like it. That was a good group.
Yeah, well, Bobby Lashley and AEW would be an interesting prospect. So, but
yes.
Moving along, this is rapid fire. Honorable mentions is Chelsea Green going through the dumpster. Going through a table into the dumpster. So I thought that was great, honestly. Let me try to get a picture of Chelsea. Sorry, I guess I didn't bookmark it. But yeah, I don't know if they got real trash in there or something, but it looked pretty realistic, unfortunately. And then they continued on with the storyline that she stinks, even till the next day on Bad Blood.
Even when she didn't have the stuff on her, she still smelled them.
She should sell that. She should sell that even when she's like in real life. Like she should just try to smell like shit.
That would be tough, dude. That would be no. The thing is, I'll say this. I know. I usually, if this was an AEW match or a segment, I would give it like a thumb down, or I'd say something negative, that it looks stupid and it's kind of dumb. And yes, there were elements of that here, but I'm a big fan of Chelsea Green. I think he's doing really good work as a character, so I couldn't completely give it a thumbs down or an indifferent. I think just based on the work that she's doing.
You gave it a half thumbs up on our rating system.
Exactly. I had to give her some props for the work she's doing.
Robert gave it a thumbs up. I gave it 2 thumbs up.
Oh my god, you guys are terrible.
I loved it. Honestly.
What did you love about it?
I love that spot where she went through the table into the trash can and just came out looking like shit. Honestly, I just think it's funny wrestling. What can I say? It was dopey, silly wrestling. But speaking of the opposite, very serious, well-worked wrestling was AJ Styles' return, where he faced Carmelo Hayes, and then he had an injury angle, I guess, kind of like they do with Bryan Danielson, where he's older and he's hurt. He got hurt real easily, and so I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. At least he wasn't convulsing like Bryan Danielson. Like if he's gonna do an
he
injury
wasn't having
angle,
a stroke. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my last honorable mention for the night for our go home, and if anybody actually wants to make comments on this, is Gunther and Goldberg. Because Triple H was
sensational, bro.
Triple H was out
This should
here.
have made the main top over some of the stuff that you mentioned for sure.
I know. Well, what can I say? I mean, it wasn't a match. It was just a thing that happened.
It was a much more entertaining segment than most of the stuff that we discussed.
All right, I'll go over some of it. I mean, this was interesting though that the Survivor Series champion versus champion matches are going to have an extra belt on the line, which is what he announced. At Crown Jewel,
Jewel, right?
Yeah, the winner of the women versus women match and the man versus man world championship match will get this belt. So okay, and then Gunther came out and he was well, hold on, where's my picture of Gunther? I skipped it. So Gunther came out. He was talking about how last week he mentioned Goldberg was his favorite wrestler, but he took it back. He's like, that's not true. And then he said. What did he say, Vlad? He's like, I hope you're a better father to your child than you are a wrestler.
A wrestler,
a one-trick pony.
A one-trick pony, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then Goldberg's son told him, hey, get in there. You need to kick his ass or fuck him up or something. I forgot what he said, but you could read his lips kind of telling him to get in there. So he got up, took his hat off, and security stopped him, and then Sami Zayn came in to beat Gunther's ass. So...
Which is also pretty good.
Yeah,
A
good scuffle they had. Man, poor Gunther. Gunther comes in and he thinks he's just going to try to look cool and talk shit to everyone, and he ends up getting his ass kicked. So, anyways, there's Goldberg.
Yeah.
Fine, to close the show, Vlad, you were a big fan of this segment. You gave it 2 thumbs up. We all did. We all gave it 2 thumbs up on our rating system. So if you want to give comments to close the show, floor is all yours.
Gunther's heel work is just tremendous. Like, he is a master of saying the right thing to the right person to get amazing heat. in his promos. And this is a guy that obviously English is not his first language, but he is. I don't know who he's working with these promos, but when he comes out, he's just hitting it out of the ballpark. He's doing tremendous old school heat here, getting one of the, legends, Goldberg. But the thing is, he always kind of has a lot of truth to what he says, so it hurts even more, because obviously that's a lot of people say that about Goldberg, right? That he was a one-trick pony, that he couldn't really wrestle, things like that. So, but still, that's what makes it so really good. And
so you think are they gonna have a match? Goldberg against Gunther?
I don't think so. I don't really think there would be a match. I
kind of feel like that's gonna happen. Why else would they do this?
See it. Like he said, Gunther is like a general.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
A ring general. Completely, and Goldberg really can't really wrestle. Like that's actually that's not really a work. That's a shoot. He really can't.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Well, what was the point of this then? I guess it was just a nice segment to see Gunther or Goldberg.
Well, the fact I think Goldberg lives in Georgia and lives in Atlanta. They invited him and his family probably, and it was just made him part of the show, which is fun.
Yeah, he jumped the guardrail and he was gonna fucking kick Gunther's ass, huh?
I mean, he is a legendary name in wrestling. Whether I like it or not, he is. So yeah, there is that.
All right, well, Robert,
and he still looks really good.
Robert, to close the show, any thoughts you got about Goldberg and Gunther?
This is a great segment. That's nothing really to add, but I didn't think they were going to actually get physical in the ring. Yeah, and I don't think they're going to have a match in the future. It just so happens that Goldberg was there, and he was a name that Gunther mentioned a couple weeks ago. So, so of course he had to say something, but I don't see this leading to anything.
Okay. All right, then. Well, unless anyone has any other honorable mentions or things they would like to mention from this past week, it was tough. I think there was a lot of good wrestling this week, and it was tough for me to squeeze it all in. We were aiming for an hour. We ended up being an hour and a half. Damn it. But okay, it's a lot of material. Fuck it. Maybe I could make a lot of segments out of this for our YouTube channel. By the way, we're on the march to 500 subscribers. Let me put that graphic up. So yes, please join us. I think we're at like 360, so we're aiming for 500, so we could sell T-shirts on YouTube. That's the goal.
Is that how it works?
I guess when you get to 500, you could like link your shop to link your store to the YouTube page, so you could sell things. So yeah, I would like to sell a Malapert Smart T-shirt with Vlad and Robert's face on them. That would be cool. So
you gotta sell the AI Kahan shirt, the one that I'm looking at right now, the one in front of me. That's a perfect. That might have been one of the ultimate.
The horrible AI host.
That will sell hotter than any Cornette shirt.
Yeah, he's gone, but at least he's still on our logo. If people who don't know this, for like 5 episodes, from episode like 101 to like 105, I had an AI hosting the show. It was an experiment, but it didn't turn out good. But an AI version of me. But if anyone wants to go see how that looked, you can go check that out on the Malapert Smart playlist, I guess, that's on our channel with all our old podcasts. Of course, if you want to watch any of our old segments, we cover some old WCW. We're going to do some more classic stuff when we get some time, but for right now, we've been covering since 2023 last year, WWE, AEW. We got all kinds of playlists on there if you've got time to kill. Also, Twitter, X, TikTok, and Instagram. Thank you guys for joining us. Robert, Vlad, you're the man. Both of you guys are the man. Both of you guys are the man.
Man. It's always great to be here. Kahan is the real man. All right.
Yeah.
The show turned out good today, man. I mean, my computer didn't crash one time, thank goodness. So there you go.
That's always a plus.
All right,
your
then.
system worked.
So we put 1 week in the books. Hopefully the show will be out by morning, and we'll start next week again tomorrow, Monday Night Raw. So let's do this. Just continuous.
The wrestling never ends. It just keeps going on.
Well, thank God, because if it ended, I don't know what I'd do with myself. So I guess we go to the Indies. Gotta go.
You'd go to the Indies. I'm not going to the Indies.
Yeah, Vlad would retire. If there was no WWE or AEW, Vlad would just retire from wrestling. So
Wrestling podcast would be over, I think, for me at least. For me.
no, we could go to classics, man. We'll go find some old
classics,
tapes.
yeah. Okay, you got me there.
All right, then, Robert. Thank you for being on. Also, I appreciate your time. I know it's getting late, but I had a good time tonight, and hopefully, I'll see you guys next week as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night. I'll see you later.
Yeah.